Did you enjoy that? It was fun to make. So that was a day making my own clothes. Just simple day spent in my workshop making my own clothes. It was really fun. That was last Monday, Labor Day. Andre, my partner, and my son went to my partner's parents, and I had the day all to myself in my studio, just quietly sewing and sewing practical garments for my family, for me and my son. Andre didn't get anything that day, but still. So welcome to this new episode of my creative journal. You are on the YouTube channel of Rives Compagnie. My name is Geneviève, Geneviève.versapin on Instagram, Geneviève.versapin on Instagram, Versapin on Ravelry, and Rives Compagnie is my shop that I have with my business partner Paul TB. It is an online shop based near Montreal. We have yarn, fabrics, online classes, everything you need to sew yourself a sustainable wardrobe. Handmade and slow, sustainable wardrobe. So today I have lots of inspiration. Fall has arrived. Oh my gosh, do I love September. It's I think, September, October, would I say it's my favorite? I like all seasons, but there's something special about September and the arrival of fall and all that back to school, sharpened pencils, colored leaves starting to appear. I just love this time of year. And it makes me glad to be a knitter because, oh wow, do you feel like casting on all the sweaters? I do, and making all the comfy sews as well. Which is what I did. I basically spent a whole day making loungewear for myself and my son. So it goes with the season. I have so lots of projects, lots of ideas, also lots of inspiration. Let's dive in. So if we start with knitting, I have 2 finished objects and a half one. Yes, let's start. So I have this gorgeous shawl, which is a new pattern made by Paul TB, my business partner. It is available for purchase on our website and as well on Ravelry. And it was made for a kit she did with Jezabel B, who has an Etsy shop full of knitting bags. You probably know her. Gorgeous Etsy shop. So they did a kit together, and it was to make a shawl and a hat. So Paul did the pattern for the shawl. It is called Augustina Peach, and it's just such a simple knit and so fun to knit. It's perfect for knitting with company. It's perfect to read while knitting, watching TV. It's just simple, it flows on your fingers. It's just kind of joyful. So you start by this big square of garter, which you make with 1 fingering yarn and 1 mohair. So it's a good place to mix colors and have a bit of fun with colors. We have kits for this shawl on our website, so if you want color suggestions, there are full of them on the kit listing, so go ahead and take a look. And you could also just go stash diving. You need 2 skeins of fingering and 1 skein of mohair, or I think half a skein, or like 25 grams of mohair is enough. And so you start with this big garter section, and then you ditch the mohair and finish with only the fingering. and you pick up stitches on all sides of the square to make the other ends of the shawl. So it's very clever the way it's done, and it has an I-cord all around, which gives it a nice finish, and you make the I-cord as you go, so you don't have to make it at the end. This would be enough to make me lose interest. Oh, it's gotten bright. Whew. There, it got a bit bright, had to adjust. So yes, you make the I-cord as you go, and it's really designed to utilize all of your two skeins of fingering. So if your gauge is a bit looser than what the pattern says, you might run out of yarn, and it's written in the pattern to not panic. Just take some leftover yarn and do the end with another yarn. Basically, it's a way to have fun and give more personality to that shawl. So it's really a simple knit, so you can have fun with the colors, you can have fun with leftovers, I would say, as well. So I didn't have enough yarn to make the end here, so I just took some leftover yarn I had, and it gives it, I don't know, a little bit something special. I don't mind. So the yarn I used is Chaussette by Les Arts Textiles du Témiscouata. It is the color Moonshine, so it's 100%, no, it's merino and BFL, and it's untreated. Yes. So it's a really, really beautiful pink, just a really gorgeous pink. And I mixed it with the Mohair Mama by Urso Yarn Co. for the big square. So really pleased with that. And the sister pattern for this shawl is a hat pattern made by Jezabel B. It's called Tuc GG. And it's basically her hat recipe. So her basic hat recipe that she's made countless times. It's a simple hat that just fits really well, like doesn't move on your head, and that you can make with endless yarn combinations. The gauge is for 2 strands of fingering and 1 mohair held together. So it's really quick project as well. It's great for last minute gift making, and it goes really well with the shawl. So I made myself a kind of kit here. Oops. So I used 2 strands of the color Latte by Urso Yarn Co. and the same mohair as I used in the shawl, which is Mama. And it gives it's kind of brown with a subtle pink halo. It's really pretty, and it goes really well with the shawl. So this will not end up being for me, I think. I have someone in mind to whom I want to give it, and the hat turned out to be just a bit small for my head. I just have a big head because I'm right on gauge for the pattern, and actually my gauge is a bit bigger, so it should be bigger than it is intended to, but it's still a bit small. I mean, it fits, but just a bit small for my taste. But it's only because I have a big head, so I could do it again with a bit more stitches and it would be fine. So that was the Tuc GG and the Augustina Peach shawl. Both are available on our website and on Ravelry, of course. So half object, I have finished one of my Chopin Crassi Zauberball sock, and it is so fun. I like it so much. Let me put it on a sock blocker so you can see better. So it's basically my simple sock recipe. I would say it's a recipe at this point because I've made a couple, it's been a few pairs that I've done the same recipe, so I think it's my favorite sock for now, let's say. So I use, I don't have that tight of a gauge. It's pretty normal gauge, maybe on the loose side. So I use 2mm needles. and the 68 stitches. Look at how fun it is. Isn't it fun? So I really like this yarn, the Krasie Zauberballs. We have we have a lot of colorways in the shop at the moment, and they're going off the shelves because I think lots of people want to knit cozy socks at the moment, and these are really fun, and the colorways are gorgeous. And there's no real logic to the color changes. You cannot predict what is going to come next, and that makes it so fun to knit with. And because you just want to see the other color and you see it changing gradually, and it's really fun. So the recipe is, if you're interested, it's really simple. So German twisted cast on, I make like 15 rows of twisted ribbing 1 by 1, and then I do 3 by 1 ribbing, 72 rows. It's that precise. So I do 72 rows, then a heel flap and gusset, really simple. And then I continue on the foot, another 72 rows, then a simple toe and Kitchener. So basically that way I make sure that the foot is the same length as the calf, then this part. And all the socks I have where this part is a bit shorter, I don't wear them as much. I just don't like them as much, I think, so I just don't grab them that easily. So I learned my lesson. I always do a long one here because I really like to wear my socks like all bunched up on the ankle like this. I feel it's really cozy, and that's the way I like to wear them. So simple sock. I started on the second one, but I ran into a problem. Will you be able to see what the problem is? So basically, I just forgot I was doing 3 by 1 ribbing, and I did stockinette. I was knitting it and thinking, oh, that's really different than my first sock. That's the beauty of this yarn. It's always so different. And then I thought, no, it's too different. Then I pulled out the other sock and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. So I need to just rip it out until the 1 by 1 ribbing and start again with the 3 by 1 ribbing. It's really enjoying this yarn. It feels really durable. I can't wait. Well, I can't wait. I know it's durable just by the feel of it. It's like not too soft. It's not rustic. It's really soft, but it's a bit dry. And what would be the word I would use? Like it's a bit of a dry yarn, and that makes for really durable socks in my experience. So yes, Schopperwolle Krasie Zauberball. Give it a try. Next upcoming project. So we have a lot of gorgeous yarns in the shop at the moment, and we have others coming. If I doubt I have any audience, English-speaking audience near me, but if you are, let's say you're in Montreal and you are listening to this at the right time, we are organizing simple gathering at my place, which will be it will be a trunk show for Urso Yarn Co. And just a knitting gathering in my huge yard. So you can bring your blanket, your hot drink, your outdoor chair, whatever, folding chair, and come and see all the new gorgeous yarn of Urso Yarn Co. It will be her new autumn collection, and you can also come inside one at a time to shop our whole inventory. So link will be below for reservation. You need to book your place because it will be a very limited number of people to respect all the sanitary rules and guidelines. There you go. Yes, I was saying that we have a lot of gorgeous yarns in the shop at the moment. It is really yarns that inspire me. I've been thinking lately about the why of my practice, and I reflected upon the fact that I need my practice to have depth. depth of meaning. And I think if you are here, if you are listening to me talking about yarns and fabrics, it might be the case for you as well, that I need things to have more meaning than just like flat line. I buy industrial product made for me to buy. I make a garment. Yes, I'm done. I have a new garment in my wardrobe. Like if it was that simple of process, I would probably just buy my clothes. I need to have more meaning and more depth. And for me, that comes from working with indie dyers, like buying indie dyer yarns, because someone has had an artistic thought behind it. It comes from the origin of the fibers for fabric and yarn. Just give it more meaning, work with smaller companies, and also like tactical feel. Like it is a tactical pleasure for me to knit and sew, and so I need fibers that inspire me and that I have fun working with. So that's why in my sewing practice I really got rid of all artificial fibers, so all polyester blends, polyester fibers. There's still a place in your practice for this, but I feel in mine it has been reduced to really exceptional cases. Like most of the time I want to work with natural fibers, and that is what gives me more meaning. Like it gels with my values, can I say that? And yeah, so all that to say that we have gorgeous yarns at the moment in the shop that have this depth of meaning, this depth of texture for me. So I'm really excited. So first we have the gorgeous Rain Cloud and Sage. So I'm sure you know Ruth and her work. So Ruth is a Canadian that lives in Germany, that has for many years, and she basically gave herself the it says it here in her words, that would be even better. So Rain Cloud and Sage, turning unused wool into yarn for makers, locally sourced and spun in Germany and dyed, I would add. So basically she gives value to yarn that would otherwise be burnt or be thrown away, or yarn that has no value for the big industrial market of yarn. I'm sure you know that it is changing in our niche practice, I would say, but like many yarns that will find their way to you have gone all over the world twice before they get to you. And that's just the way it is with industrialization. So to have affordable yarn, basically what I'm trying to say is it's easier for a German maker to get yarn that comes from New Zealand that has been treated in China, let's say, and then dyed maybe locally by an indie dyer and then knitted by a German knitter, let's say. And then Ruth said, well, I see sheep in my backyard. Can I knit with that? Can I knit with that yarn? And the answer at the time was no. Like that yarn has no value. It is not spun. It is not used. So she started her company, Rain Cloud and Sage, to turn that unused yarn into yarn you could knit with, and to turn it into something beautiful, to give it value, basically. And we have two bases in the shop. We have Origin in the undyed colorway, and we have Braven, which is this one, in the 3 colorways that she has done. And Origin is a yarn that is produced 50 kilometers from her studio. Like everything is done within 50 kilometers of her studio. It was done in the first version. I think maybe you know what I mean. And Braven is almost the same thing, but the fibers come partially from Bavaria, which is a bit further, but it's still really close. So everything done in Germany. The biggest travel this yarn has done is to come to us across the Atlantic. So from Germany to us, that is the biggest travel. So really exciting yarn. So Braven is a heavy worsted, and we had to well, we played with one skein just to get a feel for the yarn and give you pattern recommendations and such. So I inherited that skein. So I will probably make a hat. And I'm on the lookout for a pattern. A textured hat would be my preference. For a gauge of 16, 17 stitches, something like that. If you have any ideas, I would like to hear them, but otherwise I will find something on Ravelry probably. Then I saw a post on Instagram. Has this ever happened to you, that you see a post on Instagram and it changes your whole priorities for making, like it changes your queue completely? So that happened to me. I'm gonna try to insert it here, but it's a picture of a baby, so I'm gonna try to be discreet about not showing that baby, but showing you the sweater. So it is a simple scrappy sweater that I find so gorgeous. So the idea is that the sweater has one yarn that runs through all of the sweater. So that is knit double for the neckband, cuffs, and hemband, and then single with a scrappy yarn, making stripes in the sweater. So what a creative project, what a way to use your leftovers, and it's so cute. So I went into my stash and found this beautiful skein of Bleu Poussière in the colorway French Gray. It is her sock base. And I thought, yes, I'm gonna make a sweater for my son using this as a base and a couple of leftover colors in it to make stripes. So this is gonna be really fun. And then I thought, oh, I want to make one for myself as well. So this Instagram post, she said she didn't use any pattern. I think I'm gonna use the teddy bear sweater pattern by Petite Knit for this. Which is made to knit with a fingering and a mohair. So I feel like 2 fingerings together is going to be close enough. Maybe a bit on the bigger side, but that's fine for a kid's sweater. It's just going to fit longer. So then with that same idea, I want to make something for myself. So a sweater that would use one yarn running through all the sweater and then mix other yarns to make stripes. Gives it a really nice heathered look, and I really like that. And it so happens that I had yarn to make myself a stripe sweater. This is Urso yarn code Nu, and it is the yarn that was part of the kit that she made, and she gave me these. These are kind of leftovers from that kit, and she gave them to me as a gift, and I feel so lucky. I'm really grateful for that gift. And so I'm gonna use them and mix probably another white in there to have the same kind of sweater. And I think I'm gonna use Petite Knit's no frill sweater as a base, because it's just a sweater that really fits me well, and probably I'm gonna size down. I'm gonna make a swatch. And I should end up sizing down because the swatch will be bigger than the swatch for the no frills. But I think it's gonna be fine. I think it's gonna be just a really fun sweater. I'm gonna make like, I don't know, 4 rows of stripes or 6 rows of stripes. Something a bit thick, but not too thick. Yay, I wanna cast it on right away. And finally, another yarn I'm really excited about, I have it here, I have 2 colorways here, is the John Arbin Devonia DK. Devonia? So John Arbin is a spinnery from the UK. It's a small family-owned company. And they have also that kind of same vision of making yarn as locally as possible. And this base of theirs, I think, is the most local of their bases. All the fibers come from Devon, so from around the mill, the spinnery. And if that wasn't enough, they are using Victorian machines that they have restored. I'm sure you probably know of Journal Arbin or something, but there are not many distributors in North America. So maybe you've heard of it but never knitted with it, and we're so glad to have it in the shop. It kind of ticks all the boxes of meaning and depth of meaning, and it's gorgeous as well. So all the fibers are from Devon, so it's really local to them. As I said, the biggest travel this yarn has made is to come to us, and it's 50% Exmoor Blueface, 30% Blueface Leicester, and 20% Wensleydale. I think the Wensleydale is what gives it a kind of drape. It's kind of a drapey yarn, and it has long fibers. So I'm really eager to see. I think probably it will develop some kind of halo like all blue BFL does. So it's really cool. And it has a bit of a heather look as well, because it's dyed in the wool. So dyed before it is spun. And I have the immense privilege of making a sample for the shop, a sample that I will then wear. So I'm just hesitating between the two colors I brought, and if you have an opinion, please share it. So I have this one, and there are a lot of colors in the shop. We took all the colorways, so you can find something that inspires you, I'm sure. It's just I always tend to go towards the same ones. So I have these two. It's a bit of a cloudy day, so I'm not sure how it's coming out. It's a bit darker than it is in real life. So this one is Snow Ash, which is just a light blue, gray, heathered. It is so beautiful. And this one is Sage Sprig, which is a grayish green, also heathered. It's just really beautiful. So I feel like, okay, I want to make a no frills out of this, no question. I just want a simple sweater that I'm going to wear a lot with simple construction, and I have a no frills already that I love. So, and with DK yarn, you can basically access a lot of petit knit patterns and any patterns that call for fingering mohair, which is a much loved combination. So you can use a DK yarn to replace that. And also there are a lot of beautiful DK weight patterns, but I just like no fuss. I want no frills. I want to do a simple sweater, and I already have one that I like, that I know I like, which is the no frills. So I'm gonna go ahead and make one. The only question is blue or green. So the blue, I'm sure, is an easy fit for me. Like I love this color. I'm gonna wear it tons, I know. So it's kind of a no-brainer to go with this one. But this one is a bit special. You don't see that kind of color that often. A kind of a grayish green. I don't know. I'm gonna decide. I think both would be really beautiful. Just I cannot have both. I have one of the two, so I need to decide. There we go. So that was it for knitting inspiration. It's enough. I would say it's a lot of projects, but I want to cast them all on, and I still have a couple of ones I need to finish first. So I need more knitting time. Please, universe. Then let's talk a bit about sewing. So I've been wearing something that I just finished that I want to talk to you about. It is the Calais shirt dress by Closet Core Patterns. There you go. That we of course have in the shop, and I made it with we called them weekend denim, I think, something like that, which is a lightweight cotton, a lightweight denim that we have in 4 colorways, and we also have a chambray that is the same kind of weight, organic chambray in the shop that is that kind of weight, and let me tell you, it is just so comfortable. So I made the dress length, and I made the popover placket, as they call it, which means it doesn't go all the way down. It just stops here. And the pocket, and it has this detail where you use the wrong side of the fabric here, which is really cute. And I put on classic matte button from Atelier Brunette to finish it off in a classic way. And I wear the sleeves mostly rolled up, but it has a cute cuff as well. I really am so comfortable in that shirt. First of all, I think I look like my mom. She really likes to wear these shirts. So when I wear it, I just go in front of a mirror like quickly and just, oh, Mama? No. Yeah, I really look like my mom, but it's fine. And it makes me think of The Parent Trap, which was my favorite movie growing up. If you know it and remember it, you know, at the end where they are all at the father's property in California, they all wear these gorgeous loose fitting shirts with the sleeve rolled up like this. Makes me think of that. They look so comfortable in their big shirts. So it turned out a bit big, as I'm saying, but I think it makes it so comfortable for me. I could have sized down maybe for a classic shorter version. I may size down, but yeah, I have like no restriction of movements. I wear tons because of that. I just need to finish the hem. It's not done yet, and it calls for bias tape. So bias binding. So we have some Atelier Brunette ones. Why not use that? I think I just need to pick my color and finish my shirt with one of these. And I don't have much to say. It's just a classic shirt. Well, it's not classic because it has grown on sleeves. So basically the pattern will have short sleeves and you just add a cuff to these grown on sleeves. But you can buy the pattern expansion on their website to have the long sleeve. And other than that, it's really classic. I would just say that the details are big. Like the undercolor is a bit bigger, like it's not as refined as other shirts. Like a more classic shirt will have a smaller undercolor, I feel, and a bit a smaller color as well. So all the details are a bit big, but that makes it really easy to sew, and that gives it a really friendly look, I feel. Like it's just like a friendly shirt. So I like it very much. And if you are afraid of making shirts, we have a class that we are working on at the moment because I have kind of a lot of experience in shirt making, and it's a lot of it's like the first entry into tailoring, I would say. So it's more like precise construction, geometry, like pieces that would create volume together, like the volume of a color like this. So it's a lot of fun, but a few tips might make it easier. So if you want some guidance, we have this class. All our classes are in English and in French. So this class will be coming out in a month, I would say. So if you want to follow along, hang on, it's coming. But if you want to just give it a go yourself, I feel like this one is an easy entry just because the details are so big. It's not as fiddly to make. So it's still very classic. Just a bit more about the class we are working on. It's going to be a class that doesn't focus on one pattern, but that gives you techniques for all shirt patterns, for shirt making. We're going to look at different pattern options that are out there and their differences. And even a men's shirt, which I have one pattern by Thread Theory, the Fairfield button-up that I made a few times for my partner. And it's such a great construction. It's a great classic shirt. So we're going to cover like what makes it really classic and other tweaks that all the patterns have, like the Archer, the Midi-Low by the Arndo, the Cali shirt dress, and so on. So I'm making a lot of shirts at the moment. And then there are the finished objects from my day of sewing. So it was really a productive day spent at the overlocker, basically just sewing stretch. I feel like they are a different kind of sewing days. They are sometimes you will make, let's say, a coat over 5 days, and it will be very detailed, and you will take your time and have a gorgeous coat at the end of it. Sometimes you will spend 3 days making a shirt, or 2 days making a dress. Let's say I'm just kind of gauging how much time it would take. And sometimes you make like 6 objects in a day, because it is at the overlocker. It is simple sewing. It's a really different kind of day. It gives me a different feeling. It's not that I made something complicated and really tailored to myself and blah blah and took my time. This is one kind. These days of productivity just give me a feeling of providing for my family, and yeah, it's a balance. That's how I end up with a 100% handmade wardrobe, is because some days I need 3 days to make a shirt, but sometimes I can whip up 6 things in a day. So yeah, it's a different feeling. So basically that day I had, I took it really slow. In the morning I traced off the patterns, or adapted the patterns, because my son has gotten bigger since the last time I did this. So adapted the patterns, then cut all my fabric, and then had dinner, knitted over dinner. Like, it was really a slow day. It was so much fun. And then after dinner I just sat at the overlocker, and then like I had my pile, and then the pile went down to the ironing board, iron, then at the overlocker again, and then by that time half of them were done, because it was really simple sews, really simple garments. And then just finished the pants, which were a bit more intricate, and a couple of finishes on my plantain shirt, and then I was done. It was a bit over a day. I did some finishings the day after, so not totally true, but still, it was very efficient. So in that day I made 2 shirts for my son and 1 pair of pants. I made 1 sweatshirt, 1 shirt, and 1 long sleeve t-shirt, and 1 lounge pants for myself, and 2 diaper cloths. Baby wipes, baby cloth with the remnants. I have tons of these. We use it, it's just simple 2 pieces of jersey, and then all around you go with the overlocker, and I have tons of them done with remnants of fabric, and we use them for Mihai for diaper change. We use them as Kleenex. We don't have any Kleenex anymore in the house, and I have a separate bunch of them that I use as washable toilet paper, if you must know. Really great and quick and easy to make, and it gives you a chance to not have any leftovers from your sewing. So for Mihai, I made him this strawberry sweatshirt by Sew Over It. It's a great little pattern that goes up to 5-6 years, I think. I made the 12 to 18 months. My son is 18 months. I made the 12 to 18 months size in width, and the 2 to 3 years in length, because this pattern kind of grows in width as much as in length, and I felt like it was getting a bit too wide for no reason. My son grows like this, but not like this, so I made it long but not too wide. It's big for him, I think. I haven't tried it on yet, because he's at an age where every time we just dress him, it's a bit of a crisis. So yeah, it's a bit difficult, so I'm not just gonna try on clothes for fun. So I just know it's a bit big for him. Something to keep in mind if you're making your own baby clothes, children clothes, and using independent pattern companies' patterns like Sew Over It, like Brindle and Twig, usually the sizing is accurate. So if I buy Mihai's clothes in a shop, he wears 2 years already. And if I sew it 2 years is too big. 2 years is for a 2-year kid in the patterns, sewing patterns, from my experience. So just keep that in mind, that yeah, you don't need to size up as much as you would in a shop, is what I'm trying to say. But I don't mind that it's a bit big. It's gonna fit for longer. So one strawberry sweatshirt, a second one in a much lighter jersey. So that was in a sweatshirt, basically. Sweatshirting fabric, and this is just in a simple jersey. So really cute sweater with cuffs and hemband and everything. And I made him a pair of tangerine trousers by Silverit as well, which has a large belly band here, which is really comfortable for children. And I made ankle cuffs, which the pattern doesn't have, just because I like this fit on my son, that it's a bit tighter at the ankles, doesn't ride up as much. So this is definitely too big. I think I went a bit long, I added some length, but it's no worries, he can just wear it like a bit bunched up and it's gonna fit for longer. I really find it more rewarding than I thought to make clothes for him. I thought it was a bit of a waste of time because it fits like 2 seconds and then it's over. But no, the at least I would say from 6 months old to now, I've made clothes that I have fitted for more than a year. So he has pants like the birch trousers by Silverit. I really like them. I've made them last summer and it still fits him over a year later, and it's not too small yet. So really, yeah, I feel like the clothes I make him fit for much longer. I've also made the bodysuit, one of the bodysuits by Brindle Twig, and he's been wearing these for more than a year. So yeah, time well spent. And then for myself, I made a linden sweatshirt by Grain Line Studio. Just a really simple sweatshirt that I've made again and again in a simple look back terry, beigey color, great for lounging. Yeah, just nothing to say really, just a simple sweater. If you haven't made one of these yet, I recommend it. It's so great to wear and so quick to make. And then this is a plantain, which is a free pattern by Deer and Doe, and I made it with long sleeves. It's a simple jersey from my stash. It has colored flecks. I think it's from Blackbird fabric from last year. And this jersey is really cute, but has no recovery. So it kind of just stretches out as you sew it and never comes back, never bounces back. So it looks a bit stretched out right now. It's not that bad when I wear it at all, but I know that it will kind of bounce back in the machine and look a bit tighter, a bit more put together. And then I made these Anima pants by paper cut pattern. Yes, I think paper cut pattern. I've made these so much I don't remember the company it comes from. I've made these for myself. I have at least 4 pairs, and André is the same. He has at least 4 pairs of these. I really like them. I don't think it's unisex per se as a pattern, but I didn't have to make many adaptations for André. I think I took out some hip shaping and made the crotch area a bit longer, and that's all. And we obviously don't have the same size at all, but that's fine. I have a pattern for him, a pattern for me, and I just keep making them as we need them. So I made these using our Perla jersey that we have in the shop. We have it in many colors and more colors to come. And this is a jersey with elastane in it, 5%. So it has really nice recovery. It's really nice to sew with. And I think it's gonna be a good lasting jersey as well. It feels like high quality jersey. And yeah, nothing much to say. I really enjoy these pants as simple pajamas, loungewear pants. So it was a good day. I made a lot of clothes for me and my son, We needed them, so glad about that. And yeah, I think my treat after filming this will be taking a hot bath and wearing my new loungewear whilst I do the editing of this video. So that is it for sewing. That was a lot of sewing. As I said, I'm working on a lot of shirts at the moment for the class we are recording and making. And I am also, I've brought out of the shop these 3 Robert Kaufmann Section dyed cotton linen. So we have new colors, fall colors, and I'm thinking of making myself a pair of Pietra pants by Closet Core, but longer Pietra pants, tapered legs, but really longer to make real autumn pants. I think that would be really comfy to wear in the house whilst working. Most of us have been working at home in the last year or more, and I think we all realize that you need to dress yourself to be efficient and to make something of your day. So I still want to get dressed, but I want to be comfortable. So I think the Pietra pants is so comfortable, and an autumn version, longer in a more fall color than what I have for summer, and tapered legs, long. I think it's gonna be great to wear. So I have 3 colors that I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of shale, which is gray, blue, bit of brown in there. Really gorgeous. I think it would be very wearable. I have the sweet pea, which of course calls my name, which is just a really sweet green. I would love that. And I have the nutmeg, also another option, which is a brown, heather brown. And I don't have any brown pants or brown clothes for that matter, so I would be interested to have one pair and see with what sweaters I can match with them. These are my plans. That's more than enough on my plate. I hope you have found this inspiring. Other than that, other news, I had a comment to talk about the state of my garden because I was so eager about gardening at the beginning of the summer. It has been going okay. A lot of learning this year. My tomatoes have had a disease, so I haven't had a nice tomato year, summer. The tomatoes that were in garden box had kind of a mildew disease, but the tomatoes that were directly in the earth, so directly in the soil, have done better. So maybe a bit of learning there. And no, it's been a nice year. It's a small veggie garden, but still I didn't have enough time this end of summer to process all that came from it. So I'm a bit ashamed to say that I lost some bell peppers. Mostly I had so many bell peppers. There are still some in the garden that need my attention. I've lost a couple of them, so it's really a good learning for me that it's great if you can grow your own food, but you need to make something with it. Like you need to make time or have a couple of really handy recipes that go really quick and process these veggies quickly, because I want to get nerdy about fermenting, about all that stuff, but right now it's not realistic for me. So I need quick recipes. And on that note, I really, really, really recommend the roasted tomato soup recipe by A Wooden Nest. I've made it so much this year and last year. Basically this year I had another day to myself, another weekend, and I went to the farmer on my country road. They have had a wonderful tomato year. My tomatoes all died, but in front, on the other side of the street, they had a wonderful year. So they had a lot of tomatoes for really cheap. So I bought a big 20 pounds box of tomatoes and processed them in a day. I made tomato soup. And I used that recipe as a base for a tomato sauce as well. You just don't add the chicken stock or water. You just keep it thicker, and it makes a really great sauce base for pasta. So really easy, you don't have to peel the tomatoes or anything, any faffing like that. You cut them, roast them with a bit of garlic and onion and all of these lovely things that I can buy from the farmer across the street. So it was, again, depth of meaning, like buying so local ingredients and making myself a year's worth of tomato soup and tomato sauce. It was a great day of meeting for me. So that is it for this podcast. I hope you have enjoyed. I have so many knitting projects that I want to cast on. As I said, I'm really dreaming of a week alone in a log cabin just knitting. Like a week of suspended time that doesn't exist in real time. That I would just disappear to a log cabin and knit for a week. I'm sure you're like me. So let's meditate on this and dream about it a bit. So I hope you are well. Oh, if you have enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, leave me a comment if you have the time. That will really help me grow this channel, especially the English podcast. So there is no secret. I need just a thumbs up and some engagement, and that will really help me grow this channel. So thank you in advance. Bye.